Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the nerd on the street, and today we are unboxing the BenQ EW3270U monitor. Alright everyone, I just want to give a quick disclaimer at the top of the video. BenQ did send me this monitor for free in exchange for unboxing it and reviewing it for you guys. You might remember last year I unboxed my BenQ PD3200U monitor, and that monitor is right here on my desk. I'm still using it. It's been working great. I love this monitor. It's a 4K monitor, and this PD3200U that I unboxed last year, this was one of BenQ's higher end models. This was designed for creative professionals. And this monitor that BenQ has sent me now, it's a little more consumer oriented, and it's part of BenQ's eye care line. So if you're like me and you spend hours a day staring at a computer screen, you might wonder sometimes about how that's affecting your eyes. And all of the monitors in BenQ's eye care line come with some technologies to help relieve the strain on your eyes and hopefully keep your eyesight working well, even if you look at computers for most of your day for long periods of time. The EW3200U in particular is also a 32-inch monitor. It's 31.5 inches actually. It is a 4K resolution, 3840 by 2160. I've talked before about how that's a great size and resolution because you get the benefits of 4K, super high resolution, but at 32 inches you don't have to do any software scaling in your operating system. Everything's still big enough that you can see it without having to zoom in. So very optimal size. This particular monitor also has Hdr support. Hdr stands for high dynamic range. That means that the whites and the blacks stand out from each other better than they would on any old regular monitor that doesn't have HDR. Just like my current monitor, this monitor also has low blue light technology. Basically, it's like the reading mode that you might find on Apple or Android devices. It gives a yellow tint to everything on the screen and it filters out the blue light, so if you're looking at your computer screen late at night, it won't keep you awake after you stop looking at it. This monitor has something that BenQ calls Brightness Intelligence Plus technology, and that's where the monitor actually adapts its brightness based on how bright the room is that you're in, and it adapts actually the color temperature to match your room as well. That's a pretty advanced feature and something, once again, you'd normally see in smartphones or tablets. Now you can get it on a desktop computer or, use it with a laptop by using this monitor. And this monitor also supports AMD FreeSync if you are an AMD graphics card user, which cuts down on screen tearing just like NVIDIA G-Sync would do. So yeah, that all sounds great. We're gonna go ahead and open it up right now. The box is a little bit different than the box for my other monitor was. It is a little bit wider and shorter, it feels like, even though the monitor is the same size. So I'm just gonna open up a knife here and just going to carefully cut open the top. This monitor does also have built-in speakers, just like my PD3200U does. And we will see what else it has once we open it up. So pulling open the flaps at the top of the box here, we've got styrofoam right there on the inside. And I'm gonna do this right this time. You might remember how much trouble I had unboxing my last BenQ monitor. Now I know how these packages work, so we're going to turn it around because it's actually upside down right now. And we're going to tilt this down, and we're going to slide the styrofoam out of the cardboard box right off the bat. Alright, so we've got this thing partially out of the box, and we'll go ahead and take out a few of these things on the end here just to make it a bit easier on ourselves. A bit of cardboard came out that was covering up. This would be part of the stand for the monitor. If we take this out of the styrofoam here, I'm assuming this monitor won't be quite as adjustable with the stand as my PD3200U because, like I said, the one that I had before, or the one that I got last year, was geared toward professionals, whereas this is a bit more of a consumer thing. You're not gonna need to necessarily turn your monitor 270 degrees every direction, So a bit simpler of a stand I am going to expect. So that's one piece of it there. Here we've got a packet with documentation. It's a Ziploc bag, nice. And we've got a user manual, drivers, and a copy of Adobe Acrobat Reader in case you need it on a CD there. Probably not gonna need any of that. Here we've got a quick start guide. We might read through that in a moment if we need to. And some product registration information there. Here we've got a power cord, and this looks like a standard 3-prong power cord, the same type that you would find with a PC power supply, as you can see right there. And guessing that's going to plug into a power brick of some kind. Here we've got some display cables. Looks like a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort here. And we've got a USB-C cable here. I wonder if we can get video through USB-C. That'll be interesting to check out how that works, especially because I'm on Linux. I won't fault them if it doesn't work with Linux. Well, I'll fault them a little bit, but... All right, and there is one piece here we can also take out. This is some styrofoam taped shut. If we open this up, looks like... Okay, this is the bottom part of the stand. So this is what sits on your desk. It's interesting, this is about as wide. It's about the same width as the current stand that I've got. Much less deep though, much narrower. And then we're gonna go ahead and peel the plastic off of the other bit here. This is a nice glossy look to it we've got there, that's cool. And just going to tear all that plastic off of both sides. And removing the plastic from the top, right there, and from the front, the bottom. All right, and there's all the plastic off of that. Now how this works is, looks like we just slide that in, and then there's a screw on the bottom you can tighten. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Hopefully I'm doing this in the correct order. Didn't look at the quick start guide after all, but I think we should be good. So there's the stand. This part will hook onto the monitor. And we'll set that down. And let's try and get the rest of the styrofoam out of the box now. Okay, set the cardboard back there. And here's some styrofoam. So we will lift off. There we go, perfect. It's facing the correct direction. So we just lifted off the top piece of styrofoam and we'll set that aside. And here's the monitor itself, right here. So it's not quite as wide as the box was. Like I said, the box seemed a little wide because it was holding the stand there. But we'll go ahead and get this thing upright. So this is the bottom of the monitor right here, and we're just going to pull this styrofoam up a little bit. And okay, right here what we've got is two Phillips screws kind of sticking out of the monitor. We're going to slide the stand into place. And I'll grab a screwdriver here. Let's see if we can't screw those in. And the screws are actually sort of spring-loaded in there, so they don't come out, which is nice because that means you can't lose them. Okay, and those seem to be reasonably secure. So at this point, we are going to pop this monitor up, and we'll try and set it on the desk so that we can give it a closer look. Here we go. So we'll pick it up like this, and... Alright, that went very well. Okay, so we will bring off the other side of the styrofoam. And right here is the monitor. Okay, I'm excited to see what this looks like exactly. You can see it is the same size as my other monitor. Like I said, the stand's a little bit lower and does not look like the height's adjustable, which is fine. This one's consumer level. And we'll go ahead and pull off the styrofoam without further ado. And there you go. All right, and this is the EW3270U monitor right here. Doesn't look too glossy, looks fairly matte to me, which is great. All right, we've got a power button down here and a physical power button. And then it looks like we've got the same, no, this one actually has physical buttons on the bottom of the monitor here, below each of these little lights down there. We'll zoom in on this in a bit. Just going to take a bit of plastic off of, this right here would be the sensor that senses your ambient light, I believe. All right, so let's take a look around this thing. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn this one down, just so that's not distracting. All right, like I was saying before, there are some little, what look like lights down here above these buttons. The buttons themselves are on the bottom of the monitor. You can probably hear me clicking them. This on the right is probably the power button, and above it is a little metal square that says HDR on it. The bezel on this thing is very thin. It's even thinner than on my other monitor. Got a BenQ logo at the bottom middle there, and we are just going to turn this thing on the right side of the monitor. Nothing at all on this side of the monitor, completely empty. On the back, we've got a BenQ logo on the top. We will take the plastic off of there. This is a Vesa mount, so if you do want to mount this on a desk mount, or if you want to use your own stand that is more adjustable than the one that it comes with, you are welcome to do that. There is a Kensington lock right down here, a Kensington lock port if you do want to physically lock this monitor to a desk or something like that. And then the left side of the monitor is similarly empty. So all of the ports and plugs that we're going to find on this thing are going to be on the back, and they're a little difficult for you to see with the camera where it's at, so I am going to take the camera off the tripod and point it at this thing manually for just a moment here. Okay, so looking at the back of the monitor on the bottom here, this is where we're going to find our ports, more specifically right up there. And I'm just going to place a light down here so we can see a little bit better. As you can see right there, we've got an HDMI input, another HDMI input, we've got a DisplayPort in, and a USB Type-C, says super speed, so that would be USB 3.1 input, which is very interesting, and then a headphone jack, which you would use to plug in if you want to use this monitor's built-in speakers. And then on the other side here, over here, we've just got the power cord plugs right in. There is no power brick for this. Very interesting. I am impressed by how thin the monitor is considering there's no power brick to it. Alright, well that is very cool, and there's that Kensington port I mentioned before. And now we're just going to put the camera back on the tripod and we'll flip this monitor around and plug it in. Now if you do want to adjust the angle of the monitor, like I said, the built-in stand that it comes with does not come with any height adjustment. It also does not come with any left or right adjustment. It does come with a little bit of up and down tilt. As we can see if we go profile again, you can tilt it to where it's pointing a little bit up, and you can also tilt it to where it's pointing a little bit down or anywhere in between. So you do have that much adjustability at least. And we are going to angle this thing here. This is going to be a little bit dicey. My desk is getting a little bit full. Actually, this fits very nicely. Cool. Alright, so we'll just put this thing here for now. That should do. Let's get a bit more of a direct angle. Which one of these lights is putting that glare on it? Okay, let's turn that light off. And I'm going to plug this thing right into my laptop and we'll see how it looks. Taking a look at the power cord here, it's a few feet long. A little difficult to show on camera there, but we will go ahead and plug it in. It should be sufficient for us. Oh, actually I've got a power strip right underneath the monitor, so that works out well. And here comes the power. There. So if we click the power button, this lights up green, hopefully you can see, and there's a purple loading screen, and it should say no signal, because there is no signal. Can you see that that power button that lit up green down there? Yeah, now you can see it. Alright, no cable connected. Looks very similar to the on-screen display for my PD series monitor. And taking a look at the color on this thing, just while it's got a blank screen, sorry to get right in front of the camera there, but it does look like we've got a fairly good color spread here. Not seeing any major bleeding. Probably doesn't look quite as solid as my PD series, but once again, that's to be expected. My PD series was made, like I said, for professional artists, and this was made just for more general usage. Still looks very nice. Obviously, since it's got eye care stuff, it is made for people who use their computers a lot. All right, and I am going to utilize the DisplayPort cable that this came with. My laptop has mini DisplayPort, and the display has a full-size DisplayPort plug. Okay, and this thing is a little bit longer than the power cable the DisplayPort is, so just going to turn this actually to plug in the DisplayPort. It's going to plug in down here. The DisplayPort latch on the cable goes toward the outside, away from the monitor, just like my other model did. And now we will run this over to my laptop. Alright, let's see how my laptop does with two 4K screens and its built-in 1080. Alright, and there is the monitor. Wow, very bright. First thing I notice is how bright it is. Of course, I just turned down the brightness on my other monitor, so I will turn it back up to match now, or at least back up to what I normally keep that at. Okay, so here we have it. This is actually very bright, and I'm going to see what these buttons down here do. Okay, very similar OSD to the other monitor. And here you can see, we can turn on, this is the standard mode. This is, let me move my microphone closer to me. This is our standard mode, which is the default. This is HDR mode. Now this looks a little washed out. It's not meant to be used necessarily all the time, more just for games and movies and things that have been optimized for HDR. We've got Cinema HDR, low blue light mode right there, game mode, photo, looks nice, RGB, sRGB, sorry, and Rec 709, eco-friendly mode, in-book, interesting, and then user profile. We will keep it on standard for now. I do want to check out what brightness we're set to. Oh, okay. Oh, so this is multimedia, web surfing, office, and reading. So this is actually controlling the amount of blue light on the monitor. Multimedia would be leaving all of the blue light, and then reading would be cutting out as much of it as possible. And over here we've got a full menu. Definitely less options on this than on my other monitor. Okay, here's the brightness. So if we turn that down to 60 to match what I've got my other monitor set to, that's actually a little low. Okay, cool. Well, we're gonna leave this on, we'll say 75 for now. All right. Yeah, this menu doesn't have quite as many options as my other monitor did, but it's a very similar setup, so should be easy for me to navigate. This is what this monitor looks like, and so far it looks like it's working well. We can bring nerdonthestreet.com over here, maximize that. So this is the BenQ EW3270U monitor. If you have any questions at all about this monitor, please leave them in the comments down below. I will be using this monitor for a couple of weeks, and then in a few weeks I will make another video reviewing it, going a little more in-depth with everything we can do through our menus here and a little more in-depth with the eye care technologies, how they work and all that. So yeah, let me know if you're curious about anything, and I'll be sure to check out any specific questions people ask. Other than that, I just want to thank BenQ for sending this monitor out to me. I will be sure to put it through its paces before I do my final review video. For now though, that's everything we had to do in this video. So I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.